Hello, everybody, and welcome to. I don't even know what we're gonna call this, like Oasis Season 2, I think maybe. Because, I mean, we made a lot of headway in those last episodes, whenever I did those last, but the ones that I just finished uploading. So, or yeah, so I guess last night. But, anyways, and then I made this. So you might remember we brought some villagers over, which they've got quite the schnazzy too. What kind of villager is this? A fisherman. Wait a minute, that would mean that you found the barrel, which there is a barrel on the other side of there. There's still the twit or the village idiot or I forget what the official name is. But there is official one. Or actually, I don't know. There's one that I believe Waddles calls that type. But anyways, I'm pretty sure that's the villager that can't have a job. But I'm not super worried about that right now. We've got how do I fix that? It's like those games. Place one block to fix the. Although now, wait. It's like we're just gonna end up with the same problem. And then there you go. Oh no! Well, at least you're closer to getting out, but no, we still gotta there we go. And you know what, let's just go ahead and make this fill in all this stuff with grass. I don't know, I've been very back and forth with this whole thing, because originally this was a sandbar. I don't think I really care. I might just turn it into a green, nice grassy island. Maybe just green topped, I don't know. But yeah, to at least village and cat proof it. Because already the villagers have made their way across there. Anyway, sorry, I got way distracted there. But we made a lot of headway as far as musings go. Basically figuring out. Well, it's already bedtime, eh? Basically figuring out what we can be working on, what we can do um, to best help ourselves out of this fine mess that we've gotten ourselves into. No, I'm just kidding. We're connected more than ever, and through that, we're gonna start seeing some really amazing things. The creativity, the ingenuity of people all around the world. Everybody having a voice. Everybody, participating. Working towards something better and bigger than ourselves. We just have a few roadblocks in the way, and they're going away on their own, mind you. Now, the biggest concept that I talked about yesterday that I want to kind of reiterate is the loaning money to average people. Now, if you don't say it just right, it does sound pretty messed up. It sounds kind of weird. It sounds kind of like charity. It sounds kind of this and that. But really, you need to hit on a few points in order to make philanthropic efforts or communal efforts, um, well, scalable and long term. Not just a band aid. And that's what we're running into right now. Is we're throwing a lot of band aids on things. We're just pumping a lot of money at things. And by we, I mean the powers that be, not me. I don't, I try to donate when I can. But I mean, I'm not no Mother Teresa. But at the same time, I realize that if I wait until I'm financially stable enough and comfortable enough to start thinking about helping others, it's never going to happen. Just like if you wait to travel until you can afford it, it's never going to happen. So, um, yeah, because I traveled to Costa Rica and I had to work hard. I've worked hard. Well, actually, sorry. Let me back up a little bit. We're all out there working hard. I mean, and we all could be doing more, probably, but at the same time, a lot of it is just not understanding what we can be doing to make efficient use. Wait, yeah, really rambling all over the place. But the idea is it's human nature, human psychology, human behavior to want to help others. Once you get to a comfortable side, I mean, it feels good. That's why Christmas is such a hoot here in the U.S. And granted, we've capitalized on it, and people always see it, or a lot of times people see it as greed and this and that. But it's also someone's job. It's someone's what is that? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where I think it's Chevy Chase. He's he makes toys basically, or I guess more recent is the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, where that's his job is marketing toys to kids. And then they've got it to report to people, and they've got to report to people. Because remember, there is no such thing as the devil. That is, it's an old concept that At least as far as I know, scientifically. Just like, there's a lot of back and forth about religion because, seeing is believing and being able to prove it and all that, but then at the same time have faith and yada yada yada. It's like you got to kind of pick the best of both worlds. Like you can't stress yourself out about being in completely one camp or the other. You have to be as dynamic as life is. Now, granted, don't do anything like if there was a god that would upset him or her. Like, I mean, I don't know. Sorry, we're getting off on some way tangents, but that's the way we get the best ideas to the front. But it's communication and being oblivious or being blind to something, and not like saying it in a derogatory like, how dare you be blind to these plights or these. No, I mean they probably had no idea what was going on, and even if they did, what are they gonna do to fix it? One of my favorite things, not favorite, but it just I heard it a lot when I was over in Dubai. It's like what I do, and like they speak so many languages, in other parts of the world. Like, I took 4 years of Spanish in high school just because I was like one of the more fun things to do. Like, they never let me into cooking. I'll never forget that. But, anyways, I figured it out. But like, and I was pretty excited about being able to speak very broken Spanish and not be able to conjugate verbs or do future or past tense. But at least I tried, and I wasn't like go back to your country and how dare you speak the Espanol and a lot of times even when people are saying that, as ridiculous as it sounds, it's all people in inertia. Like people in motion don't want to like run into friction or have to stop, and that introduces more problems too. And it's frustrating for everybody if you can't communicate, but at the same time, it's just seeing interesting seeing other countries and how they've adapted. I mean, basically everybody's had to adapt to English, and that's like, uh, I feel a little guilty about that. I mean, granted, we learn English for like 20 years in public school, well, 12 years, and then you still have to take college level English just to get into college usually, or you have to take like English Comp 1 or the basic English. And then I don't know. But at the same time, communication is enhancing in other ways, but when you're actually like talking to somebody, you can't just like pull out the Google Translate or I mean, they do have the headphone or the earbuds that translate in real time. Um, I think those are still a ways away from being available to like the common person. But as far as like when I was over there, almost everybody spoke English, and if they didn't, we could figure it out. Like we got close enough. Like I never had to worry about another person's language, which is weird because when I was preparing for Costa Rica, we made extra sure that we knew how to say at least the essentials, like, where's the bathroom, or I'm hungry, or I'm lost. Like, can you help me? Or ayudar, please, por favor. Like, sorry, I'm trying to speak Spanish on the spot. No bueno. No lo siento, pero yo puedo hablar español poco, pequeño, más o menos. It's been a long time though. And really, I mean, I'll struggle along until I figure it out though. I mean, as long as the people are patient with me, because I don't want to be a prick. Like, I've seen what it's like. I mean, when people get too short-tempered with other people, and, I pay attention to the expressions, like how it affects people, and like, and then their actions afterwards, and like the candid thing. I think that's part of watching like shows like Clerks or something. Like when you see how people act underneath it all, or maybe it's my years working in fast food. Eminem said it right in his video. Like, I never spit in anyone's food. I think that's just way too far. But there's been times customers have been so ridiculous and so impatient, and they just like project and unload all of their day's worries and miseries on you, which you're just trying to you know, you don't got a choice about that. Like when I was at Subway, especially, like you're standing behind a glass counter in like a very glass windowy place, and people as they're walking up, they see your smiling face standing back there, or you're frowning, whatever it is. And it's like you're on the spot, so they're gonna come in and they're gonna talk to you, and you got no choice about it. If you want to keep getting paid, if you like the money, then you gotta smile and you gotta make sure and like I don't know. And for the most part, people are understanding, but that's kind of like a downside of well, just our economy. I mean, and I kind of feel like everybody needs to go through it because anybody that works in fast food automatically like treats other fast food people better. I mean, on average, not always. Like none of us are susceptible. Sorry, I know it's like the Sith like to deal in absolutes, and I try not to do general blanket statements, but really, the general gist is respect is huge, and people forget it often when they're trying to get food, especially if they're in a hurry and like there's a bunch of factors. Like the person could be new, still learning how to make sandwiches, like, um, or they could be like intoxicated or like tired, hungover, or anything, and then then the person in line's got like a whole slew of things depending on how much they understand what's going on, or just going through their minds, and and you just get to study these. I guess it was like kind of like how there's speed dating. It was like speed social engineering and speed analysis. Like you're analyzing all these people because especially when I'm at the end and I'm doing the register, I'm like, I don't want these people to come up at me all grumpy and like, especially at that point of the transaction, like I got to take their money. Like you saw this sandwich, you've helped create it, you've all this, and now you get to the top and like you find out a $5 footlong is now 20 bucks, like, and you're mad. You're already going to be a little upset, probably. I mean, there's a high chance, and you think of everything in possibilities and chances, especially I mean, if you're like me and you took statistics back in high school, trying to get ahead in college and still spend the better part of a decade. Mm. So, anyways, my point being is I understand a lot of different angles, and like I remember, and I'm nothing special too. I mean, the way America is, like my generation and the generations around me, we've had to do so many different random jobs, and I still see people getting laid off left and right. Like, I mean, COVID threw a lot of people for a loop. Was really hard on a lot of people. I was building wind turbine blades for most of it, going nuts on the graveyard shift. Like it was intense, and I don't use that term too loosely. Like it was very bad, like for my mental health and everything. Like not sleeping, not yeah, it was bad. But I mean, for a while it was okay. But I was also having duties during the day, being a dad, and so it was like trying to be a normal person, a day walker, and then like a night shift. Yeah, it's rough. So I don't know, but the show must go on, and I'm really glad. Like I was proud of my work building. I mean, not too proud, like not too smug and everything, but at the same time, I was like, this is so neat. Like I'm helping contribute to the solution, or at least, sorry, not a solution, but like a better way of doing things as far as generating energy. Now, not the perfect way. I mean, that's kind of a bias. That's one of the other things I wanted to talk about. There was this guy that I follow on the X app, formerly known as Twitter. I think it's George Styles or something. You can look up on the X app, like George Styles. Um, actually, let's just look him up right now. Because I'm really bad at putting things in the description. So if you comment something, be like, "Hey, what's this? What is that?" Then I will definitely add it. But by the time I go back and watch these, I don't watch all of them. So anyway, sorry. My point is, this guy pointed out, um, and that's all you really need anymore in this world. You got to kind of have a general name, George. As I type it in, yeah, George Styles, George Style Geo. It's or no, Geo Style, GeoStyle, and he's on. Wow, dang, he's got like 25k following, and he's anyways, huge following. But what he does is he writes a lot, and he like, oh whoa, wow, wow, sorry. So, as I'm just spinning in the Minecraft world. So yeah, George Styles. I was just reading one of his things. Is huh, wow, that's some scary. So yeah, the internet can be a scary place if you have your info out, and especially with LinkedIn and stuff, because that you really do have to be pretty truthful about that. Although I will say, I put a fake birthday on just about everything, unless it's like an official government thing or like a work thing. But like, and even then, you know, no, just kidding. But you can only do so much with a birthday, and we're getting better at like nixing a lot of the stuff that could be dangerous like that. And I gotta deposit some stuff because I just realized there's gonna be wood disappearing. We got some rabbit meat, but anyways, it's just really good because people are more connected than ever, and it's an amazing thing. And one of the byproducts of that is there's increased accountability, there's increased awareness, there's increased guilt felt by people as they start realizing like oh wait, like I'm that guy or I'm that or and really a lot of people are going through that. I mean, especially with YouTube and seeing people like Jimmy, Mr. Beast there, and see I don't know, like I call him Jimmy like I'm somebody, but I mean, Mr. Beast. He said something in that video when he was setting up the 100 wells in Africa, which is amazing, by the way. He was like, I don't know why I have to do this. Why does it have to come down to YouTubers? But here we are, or something like that. That was the basic gist of it, and it's profound. It's like, why? Why have we not? Well, and really, the short answer is like, too often leaderships changes hands before they're really able to fully finish each other's work. I mean, which is a good and bad thing because, you get the wrong person doing the wrong thing, even if they think it's right. Like it's just, or it's not maybe not the best thing. And that's like where you need to not think of things in black and white. I mean, oh yeah, and then this idea, which is actually pretty popular so far with the people I've mentioned it to, but saying he-man and woman. Like it sounds silly, but that would like over time, a short period of time, it would fix the accidental male patriarchy of our society. Because we do, we have a patriarchy, totally. Like I mean, men are just way more powerful, way more successful, way more capable, still paid. I mean, or wait, it was like Bernie. I was watching a video from Bernie from like 2016 that was saying how much women on average are paid for. Like they're still not equal to men, and I don't know if that's changed since then. I mean, I hope it is, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are just thankful to have jobs at this point, like with how volatile the markets have been. But I mean, sorry, not to sound insensitive to that, but I mean, like, you know, I know I'm not like keep trying, but wait a minute, wait a minute. This isn't the exact percentage compared to my female counterpart. Like, I wish I could say I'm like that, but at the same time, I'm just like one paycheck away from being homeless myself, so it's sad. Now, wow, I think we all are, and I think many of us are. That's where we need to fix things, which, and technically we're not. Actually, as I say that, like, I mean, I'm probably a good couple paychecks away. I could manage, and actually, I have family I can depend on, and we all really do. If you dig deep, if you mend bridges, I mean, and again, accountability. So, like, one of the small silver linings of having such a disaster go on is realizing what's important, realizing what's essential, and oh yeah, but let's get back to that accountability. So, with technology as it is, it's an amazing time because more and more people are seeing what the deal is, like why. They're gaining insight and understanding, so that serves as smoothing a lot of tensions over, but at the same time allowing for people to be like, "Oh, okay, well let me jump in and help fix it." Like I didn't know that that's why things were the way they were. I mean, so many communications, and it's not even just like miscommunications by itself. It's also lack of communication. Like, is it worth it? Is it worth the breath or the awkwardness to be like, hey, let me explain what I was doing there. Sorry about that. And I'm pretty winded about that myself, and I'm trying to work on that. So I try to translate it, as it were, to smaller, more succinct, concise tidbits. I don't know, just communication, really, because people's eyes tend to glaze over the longer you talk about something, trying to explain it. And that's just human nature. I mean, we're all tired. We're all out there working hard. That's one of the biggest misunderstandings, and drives me nuts. Like when especially in like political things, like whenever I hear someone like, "Oh, the welfare state," or just like mooching, because that automatically makes people seem less than human. Like, and there's such a pride thing too. Anyone who is using anything, government supplied or anything, like anything that could be considered a handout, will automatically not want to take that advantage of that resource. Granted, people that may oftentimes this is being said by people who probably never have to worry about being on such things themselves. And maybe they worked hard, and they got where they were, but a lot of times, especially with like leadership, the ones trying to point fingers and be like, they're sucking up all the money and all that. It's really the wealthy business owners saying that. And it's like, because they want you to believe that. They want you to believe that their CEO requires another yacht, or the payouts, the Wall Street, all that. I don't know. Like it's still gonna take some work. I've heard. But anyway, sorry. The whole point of this, the preventative blue teaming. And again, this is kind of a stretch, so bear with me here. So we're trying to increase global security through mutually assured construction. Ubuntu. I am because we are. We all rise. Um, You know, we all float together. We all float down here. No, I'm just kidding. That's some Stephen King hit. Uh, but anyways, and a lot of times it's lack of communication. Like it just comes off as rude or whatever. Is like, oh, those stupid Richie Richards or those sneetches with stars upon the R's, or whatever the case may be. So a lot of times, even the people that do have the means to help might just be like, get bent, you bum, or something like, or how dare you? I pay my taxes. My taxes go to helping people like you, and like, or maybe they do donate. Because that's one thing I do say about religion is the more devout followers of Christianity do try to do like a 10% or like a certain part of their income to charity. So, and not saying that, smooths over all the other things. Like, you got some real wingnuts out there, like really anti-LGBTQ that are. I was watching a video today of just like, this lady was saying, and it's unfortunate because they are set to think this way. But interpreting the Bible, I think the only thing it actually says against LGBTQ is like, a man shall not lay with another man lest he be stoned. Like, they stoned people for everything back then. Are you kidding me? Like, so if that was like the punishment, and I don't know, it's like I've heard people dig deeper and say, well, no, this is what it. But at the same time, if you really like understood the overall gist of the Bible, like the overall tone of what they were trying to drive home, it wasn't don't be gay. It was more like don't kill people, and look at what we're doing. Like, that's kind of higher up on the list. And if you can only satisfy so many things, if you can only abstain from so many sins, let's focus on the main ones here. So, and also killing by not doing anything too. Like as long as there's people out there starving, as long as there's people out there living on the streets for whatever reason, you don't need to be judging them for whatever they're doing. Like there's all these factors that lead up to situations like that as well. So that's like another thing is, sorry, not to get all angry and pointed and like that. And that. It's just like a lot of people don't understand until they do, and then it's like, oh my gosh, like a revelation thing. Wow, had I known that this was how the plight was, or whatever. I mean, oh, also I was gonna do this. We got some glowstone. As long as we're careful, we can do. Actually, let's get some dirt. The dirt kind, because I'm gonna ruin the grass. Not that it matters, because I got silk touch on the shovel, so I could get more grass. But now I'm thinking glowstone, like maybe there. Yeah, make it even. All right. Remove the evidence. Okay. Anyways, um, totally forgot where I was going with all that. We all out there working hard. Communication, misunderstandings. I mean, that's what it is. It's the devil's in the details, and I guess that could kind of be a thing. Let's go to sleep. Let's get some rest. But no, just understanding human nature and like watching tons of movies, understanding the creative ideas and thoughts from tons of people that are the modern philosophers. Sorry, philosophizers or philosophers. They're philosophizing, musing, thinking about things, thinking things through, critically thinking. All of these different ways of thinking about just even how to communicate what people do. They also call it shower thoughts or stoner thoughts or like, they joke about it on YouTube, but they think of some really profound things that, really they're ridiculous too, which is kind of the point of it, the humor, the entertainment of it. But it's like they'll think of like, yay man, this and that, but then in reality, like they connected some dots that you probably never would have yourself, or if you did, like way down the road, thought of something cool to say, and it's like all in hindsight. But these people are just like ringing them off like. And then there's the whole argument like the reefer madness, like, oh, cannabis makes you stupid, makes you, No, if anything, it forces you to think outside the box, and it discontinues erroneous thought that would be leading you down a quagmire of ignorance. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, hold on. But the more people learn computer science, it's going to happen too. Because Ubuntu, which is one of the most popular versions of Linux, or it translates into an African term of community. I mean, there's multiple meanings to it, and like I'd have to look it up to find like the official. Um, But the one that I like the most is I am because we are. And there's a little story I heard about, and again, this could be a meme, this could be an actual thing. I don't even know. It doesn't matter because it's right up there with what it means. But so there's a couple of biologists or anthropologists studying an African tribe, and they gave the tribes, the kids, sorry, the village kids a basket of fruit, and they said the first kid, the first one to reach that tree gets the basket of fruit. And so, thinking that they would be all competitive and go try to like win the fruit, they all got up all slowly, held hands, and walked to the tree, and then they shared the basket of fruit together. So competition was like a lost concept for these kids. Like it was just, and again, whether that's true or not, that is like the general gist of Ubuntu. It is community, is I am because we are, and it's believing in something greater than myself. And a lot of that is because, well, and I hate to make these generalizations because there are a lot of places in Africa that are perfectly modern. They're doing just fine, and it is a pride thing to just think that all of Africa is just some kind of heathen ghetto place. Like, no. Same with India too. I was there and I had a horrible, well, not a horrible, but I just had a different idea of what I was going to see there. And I still saw some poverty areas, but not much worse than what I've seen. Like we've got tent cities all around America. Like, you know, what I did see was a lot of really positive looking things, like tons of like large buildings and lots of construction going on, lots of a lack of safety equipment, PPE and stuff. So if anything, if you're thinking about doing good for the world, maybe take a crate of work gloves and work boots over there and just donate them. Like, I mean, if I ever get to a point like that, sure enough, I would. Because I mean, we have that here in America, and it's not too out of reach to be able to buy a cheap pair of work gloves or something. Go to Walmart, get some leather gloves or something, and go work construction. I did that for almost a year, not even, but was able to swing a hammer and built quite a few houses. I was a framer, and just out of necessity and out of curiosity, I was trying to find a good job, and I worked in restaurants a lot, and I was like, oh, I'll try construction because I had a couple of buddies that said it really paid well and drove nice cars and everything. I was like, dang, all right. Little did I know that one of them actually like I didn't put two and two together. He drove a nice car because his family had a mechanic shop, and he knew how to work on cars too. So I don't know. Anyways, just reasons why it's good to learn jobs and to work jobs. Like, I feel like almost everybody should have to do like 2 or 3 years between high school and college, just working odd jobs. Like you just mandatory have to go out there and live and see what it's like, and then you can maybe get a certain amount of assistance from the parents, or maybe you don't have to pay rent or something like that. So all the money you earn, you can either like save up some of it and spend some of it. I don't know, because yeah, because then eventually, sorry, we're getting way rambly. It's almost ended that, but all right. So this is Oasis season 2. I think it's important to be able to understand these things in depth, like to really pick them apart. I mean, at the same time, it is boring listening to something for too long without something exciting. So I hope this is entertaining for you. If not, you just sat through a half hour of gibberish. No, but seriously, like we are on the cusp of a new world order and a great thing. Like, and it's so funny because the DIA murals predicted this. After the COVID, the children of the earth would come together in unison. And and you can interpret what you want from it. That's pretty much what I think it looks like. There's like some kind of plague, like some Nazi-looking character wearing a gas mask with a scythe, and like some pretty messed up looking symbolism. I don't know, but already I can tell you that COVID taught us that remote work is more than okay. Productivity is like, well, it's a lot easier to get a lot of done as long as you understand what's going on and what you need to do too. Like, so again, communication is key. Synchronization, there are some issues with that, but like, yeah, there we go. But at the same time, the opportunity cost of being in a car going places, and I apologize if you don't get. That's why like there's that thing that's gone viral about the millennial that's like complaining about how hard it is to work a real job. I watched it and I was like, she keeps saying like, I understand this and that. Like, she's not coming from a totally unreasonable place, but I mean, for people that have had to work bad jobs or bad conditions or gone extra great lengths to work a bad job, it does sting a little bit. But at the same time, like, I gotta admit, for something that's being ridiculed like that, she did make a lot of sense. So, anyways, ta ta for now. I will see you in the next one.